2inspire Network interviews today. My guest is Ronke Lawal, founder of RSL Management Services and also partner in Simone Williams Fashion. Welcome.
Thank you.
Hi.
Patrice. How are you?
Well, thank you. It's really nice to have you here. And just to start off, I'd like to take a journey a little bit further back in time and just find out where you started your journey and how you sort of got here today.
Okay, so I was born in East London, in Hackney, so born and bred. My parents are Nigerians, or of Nigerian origin, very proudly Nigerian British. I grew up on a relatively deprived council estate. I mean, I think a lot of people from East London, actually London as it stands, probably have a very similar story. But one thing I did recognise and decide at a very early age was not to live by my story. That became part of a history for me. It wasn't my story, so to speak. So having grown up on this council estate and not really having much in the sense of kind of material wealth, we had a lot of other things that kind of gave us more valuable lessons in life and more valuable wealth, so to speak, in life. So education was really important in our household, and I'm sure a lot of African and Caribbean households have a very similar experience. Education, respect, and focus, you know, especially because we were first generation. This, even though it is my country, Britain, my parents' country was still very much central to our family upbringing. So that's kind of my journey, story. Hopefully I answered your question about growing up.
That's fine. And if you could just tell me a little bit about your company and what you actually do at the moment as part of RSL Management Services.
So I founded RSL Management Services in 2004, so I was 23. And when it started, I kind of wanted to be a support to small businesses. I wanted to offer marketing, publicity, but also other bits and pieces. And that, I think, came as being quite young. As the time has progressed, I kind of filtered back with the other business support services and just focused on marketing and publicity. So over the past few years, I'd say probably 4 or 5 years, I've really perfected my marketing offering in RSL management. And what I tend to do is manage my clients' marketing portfolios. I manage brand development, PR to some extent, but I always kind of make it very clear to any potential clients or even current clients that I'm not a PR, so I'm not the kind of person who I can get you into the newspaper, I can get you on the radio, I can get you on TV, but that's not what I specialise in. There are people who can do that because that's what they like to do. They like the kind of the ego-driven side of PR and business, and that's no offence to any of my colleagues in the PR industry, but I like to get into the nitty-gritty of publicity, so I like to really work on the grassroots marketing campaigns, and I like to see a real difference from when I start with a client to when, if ever, I end. I've had clients for many years when I end, and how the business kind of grows in that marketing journey. So those are the kind of services that I offer to my clients.
And so you said it's taken you about 4 or 5 years to really home in on the services and what you want to bring. How important would you say it is to make sure you have a focus when you start a business, or would you think starting off and being as creative as you want to be, you know, is a good part of the process?
Yeah, well, it's really important, really important to be focused. When I started at 23, so it's been 9 years now, almost 9 years, I was kind of very much, I quit my job. So this isn't something I would advise people to do, but I wanted to create my own journey, my own path. And when I quit, I started this business, I had lots of ideas of where the business was going to go. I was blessed, you know, because I had the energy and the drive, I got clients relatively quickly. However, because I didn't have the focus on, okay, what am I offering to these clients? I'm offering marketing, but I can also do their admin. Even though that wasn't what my passion was, I was going into these little businesses and saying, I can do it all except for accountancy and bookkeeping. I can pretty much do it all. So I can even look after at one point, HR. But that wasn't where I was supposed to be. My calling was supposed to be the publicity and the marketing. And with that being said, I also had other business ideas. So I became a partner in Simone Williams Fashion label. I started an online dating company at the age of 25. I started a fair trade business selling kind of African ethnic jewellery and interior design products at the age of 26, 27. I was kind of here, there and everywhere when it came to business. But when I really, and that's what I said about 4 or 5 years ago, when I actually sat down and said, actually, Ronke, you're really good at business, but your real purpose is to publicise clients, is to be a marketeer, focus on that, and we'll see a difference. And I would advise anyone who's starting a business, whether you're doing it part-time or you're doing it full-time, really hone in on what your purpose is. And that's for anything in life. When you hone in on your purpose, you can be exceptionally successful. And hopefully that's where my journey will lead me.
If you could go back in time and have the choices again, basically, what advice would you give yourself about some of the choices that you've made over this process?
Okay, so it's been a great journey, and I think it's taught me a lot about myself, but I think I should have been braver, and again I still believe that. Got to mentor much sooner, and I'd advise anyone who is looking to start a business or is even in business to get a mentor. It's really, really important to have that person to bounce ideas off, who can be your support. I would have gone for funding and really believed in my idea, and I was gone for funding. I think that would have been really important. I don't think even though I was starting a business, I don't think I really believed enough in the idea. Well, not the idea. I don't believe enough in myself. So it's two separate things. I believe in the idea of the business, but I didn't believe enough in myself. And if I believed enough in myself, I would have sought funding. I think it's really important for people to really believe in yourself, and that's where I'm finding myself now. Is getting to that pinnacle of self-belief that a lot of those kind of entrepreneurs and people who are truly successful in life get to, and that's what really propels them to those great upper echelons of success.
Fantastic. And did you think you were going to be in this position so soon? I mean, when I read back again in the profile and have a look at, for instance, the Precious Award for being an inspirational leader and just being part of a mentoring program by Sherry Blair Foundation. I mean, did you feel that you would be in this kind of position at this age or at this point in your life?
No, and that's another thing. I think starting off young, I just knew what I wanted to do. I've always had goals, though, and I do look back on my goals. They probably weren't as specific as winning an award. I'm not again, no disrespect to anybody who is, but I'm not like an award junkie. I don't collect awards. There's some people in business who like to be in the press all the time, who like to collect awards. That wasn't one of my things, and I didn't even nominate myself. Somebody else nominated me, which I think was really said a lot about the work that I do. But I was always very goal oriented, but I didn't specify like winning an award or becoming a mentor. My specifics were growing a business, how many clients I was going to get, and this kind of thing. But it is really important to have those kind of goals. To say, did I think I'd be here then? No, I don't necessarily think I did. I mean, I had the high hopes and the aims. I wanted to be a billionaire, millionaire, whatever, but which I'm not. So nobody email me, please. I'm not a millionaire, but
not yet.
Not yet. But the journey that I found myself on, for instance, I just recently stepped down as Chief Executive of the Chamber of Commerce in Islington, and that again was a journey of self-belief, because going for that role, getting that role and being in that position for almost 3 years was completely beyond my expectations, because the person who was Chief Executive before does not look like me, does not sound like me. He was probably 2 or 3 times my age, came from a completely different background, the background of somebody who is assumed to be a Chief Executive of an organisation. And I went for it because that little voice said go for it. Now, would my 23-year-old voice have told me to apply for a role like that? Not in a million years, I'll be honest. But I just thought, let me give this a go. And the interesting thing is, I don't know if I would have necessarily got that position if I had carried on working. The board of directors hired me principally because of the entrepreneurial background that I had. And so the blessings I've had with my business have allowed me to have amazing opportunities, like being Chief Executive of the Chamber of Commerce, like winning that award, now being a director and trustee for other organisations and being a mentor. So it's been an exceptional experience.
And in terms of, you were saying about being a mentor, and would you have been in this position if you didn't take some of the risks and things like that? Would you say that taking risks is part of what everyone has to do if they want to be successful in business?
Bottom line, you've got to take a risk to be successful in life. Like, it's not just business, it's got to be about life as well. And that's something I've learned as well throughout the course of my journey. Anything you really, really want to do, there's no guarantees. Okay, so anything you really, really want to do, you have to be willing to step out of your comfort zone. And I think, and that's probably why something told the 23-year-old Ronke, look, start this business, because I was surrounded by people who were miserable, who were unhappy with what they were doing in business, in career, in relationships, you know. And if they didn't take the risk to say, I'm going to quit my job, or at least retrain or do something, then they'd still find themselves, I'm pretty sure, in the same position as they were all those years ago. So for me, taking a risk is fundamental. Now, a smart and educated risk, you know. That was my choice to quit my job and to start so young. Everybody's journey is going to be different. So you can, you know, if you're a mother with 5 children but you want to start a business, you can do it part-time. Or if you want to do your MBA, there's ways you can do it online or whatever. But you can still take those risks if you take them smartly. Yeah.
Fantastic. And just, I wanted to ask you, where do you see yourself? You know, you're a partner in a fashion line. Where do you see all of these ventures in, say, the next couple of years?
I like to give myself room to grow. Next year will be 10 years. So for me, in business and being self-employed, and I'll be honest with people, I might decide on my 10th anniversary, I want something completely different. So where I see myself now is fundamentally in a place of joy still. It would be great, you know, if I do choose to continue our business, to have some fantastic clients, you know, have a great office space, employ some great people. Might not be in the UK. You know, I'd love to do more work in West Africa and the Middle East. So there's a high probability that I won't be in the UK. So that's ultimately where I see myself. But I still like to give myself that opportunity to not close myself. So we'll see.
Brilliant. I look forward to seeing where it ends up. And the whole point of the 2inspire network is the theme is promotion, networking, and inspiration. On those 3 topics, what advice would you have for anyone about to take the plunge about promoting yourself, networking, and just inspiring others?
Right. So promoting yourself, you've got to be bold. You've got to believe in your idea. Really shout about what you're doing and embrace what you're doing. Network, you know, it's really, really important to network with people. Network in business, but network in life, but particularly in your professional career and in business, you've got to network. So making those connections, going to events that the 2inspire network organises and other organisations organise. And establishing those relationships. We can only grow and succeed in life if we collaborate and unify. You know, competition is always going to exist. Okay. What I'd always say to people when they're starting a new business is don't pay too much attention or pay too much mind to competition, because competition is always going to be there. It's about collaborating. It's about working together and building value from your networks. And if you believe enough in your idea, you can have, and that's what you see in certain neighbours and certain communities in London. There's how many corner shops or hair shops, they're still thriving because they collaborate and work together for economies of scale. So that's the same thing for women in business and hopefully the women who join the 2inspire network. And to inspire, for me fundamentally, is really being authentic. Okay? One thing that's been kind of a message that's kind of come to my mind is about not following false idols. False idols in business and in life. So for me, I meet a lot of people who claim to be X, Y, Z. And then you only need to scratch the surface. And they're not quite what they seem. But because they shout about what they do and they're wearing the kind of peacock feathers, they make themselves look like they're bigger than they are. And people get distracted by those kinds of people. So they might sign up to things that aren't quite for them. So fundamentally for me, I'd say always be authentic, not to get distracted by false idols, and be true to your real calling and your purpose and passion in life. And that's how you're going to not only inspire others, but you'll be able to inspire yourself on a daily basis. And fundamentally, that's the only way you're going to wake up and get out of bed if you can inspire yourself.
Fantastic. And finally, inspirational quotes. We always ask our speakers to think of something that inspires them, or someone, and you know, give the audience something, you know, that they really feels real to them, that they use, you know, to motivate them. What would be your
Oh my goodness. And I read so many that I can't even think of an inspirational quote. the person I'd probably say, which I guess a lot of people are going to say, is Oprah and Oprah Winfrey.
We've not had Oprah yet, so you're
okay, I'm surprised. Maybe people think that everybody's going to say her. But you know, if you look at her journey, I think it took her 25 years. And actually, of those 25 years, it took her about 10 or 15 to really progress in her career. So we might think that she's this billionaire now and this media mogul, but it actually took her a quarter of a century to get to where she is. And that's a real lesson in life. It takes time. And the one thing I like about her, whatever mistakes she makes, you know, whatever people might think about her, she is authentic. And I think, even though I can't think of a quote, the word I'd like to leave viewers with today is just to be authentic and be yourself, to value your real authenticity. And that's the thing about Oprah that's kind of inspired me to be as authentic as I possibly can be in my own life.
Fantastic. And finally, we'd like to do a quick fire round of questions. What we normally do here is 10 questions and you just have to answer as quickly and as honestly as you can, okay?
Oh, cool. Okay.
So, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so night or day?
Day.
Black or white?
Black.
Rice or chicken?
Oh, what? Can't I have both? I said I like food. Chicken.
Chicken. Old or young?
Oh, yeah. Oh, young.
G8.
G8. G8.
Summit.
Oh yeah, what about it? What do you want to say about that? I'm like G8. Are we talking about politics now? What?
Random.
Okay, so yeah, it needs to be more empowered. So that's what I think.
Fantastic. Politics or non-political?
Oh, we're all political, so politics.
Okay. Sociology or psychology?
Oh, sociology.
Music or dance?
Music every time.
Fantastic. Okay, well, I'm going to leave the questions there, but thank you very much for your time today. It's been a brilliant